Hello and welcome to the Downtown Kentucky podcast. I'm Austin/Parfait.
And I'm Chris/Ox.
That's right. And we're back here with another podcast. We're back, baby.
We
No
are.
days off. I mean, except for the
I
days we
mean,
have off. But,
I'm actually on vacation right now from
oh yeah, there's
my actual job, so
that. I also didn't go to work today as well. There's fun facts about our lives. Thank you for tuning in. That has been the podcast. We'll see you next. No, I'm just kidding.
all right.
Now, this week there's actually some news stories for once. It's crazy. We actually have stuff to
Nice.
cover. I know, crazy, right?
Nice.
Who would have ever
nice.
thought it? So let's talk about our first news story today.
Mhm.
It's the title story. That's how you do this. You typically put whatever story in the title in the first segment. That's how you. At least that's how I feel podcasts should work. If you're pre-naming them, like it's one thing if you find out what's the most. That's not the point. The point is,
Anyways.
we're talking about NFTs, baby, because NFTs are in the news.
All right. Well, I'll be leaving now.
And you
Thank
may be thinking, why haven't you guys covered NFTs in a while? And the answer is, because there really hasn't been much NFT news lately. And, I love riffing on some stupid NFT ideas. So I'm down to make fun of them whenever they pop up. And there's
Fair.
some knowledge now maybe on why we're not hearing about the stories as much anymore is NFTs might be dying. I mean, they were never really alive. We've talked about that in past episodes, how it's
Yeah.
all been
That's like,
hyped
what, 400
by like
people?
NFT bros, and that's about it. If you actually look at, I think the statistic is like, of like even of cryptocurrency, people who have owned cryptocurrency, only 0.01% of them, or maybe 0.1% of them, have ever owned an NFT even.
Ah.
So, NFTs are not like I think total like wallets, like crypto wallets that have ever dealt with an NFT at all. Not even saying they still currently own them is only 40,000. And there's also a chance that some of those crypto wallets could be the same person with more than one crypto wallet, because that is a common thing in cryptocurrency is to have more than one crypto wallet. So there's at most 40,000 people who have ever touched NFTs. So NFTs were never that big of a thing, but people aren't talking about them anymore. We actually have some actual statistics on like
Oh my gosh.
trends.
We've got statistics on this channel.
Kind of.
Okay.
We're going off of Google Trends. We're gonna look at We're gonna go to Google Trends right now. We're gonna look at it, and you can see they are on a steep decline. Let me go over here so you can see my cursor on it. Oh, look at that steep decline. The peak was in January, which is really ironic though, because around here, around February, I think 6th, I believe is the date actually. February 6th was the Super Bowl, which there was I think 3 different NFT or crypto like big things that day, like commercials, and no drive. It still continued to plummet down. And to be fair, it's not as low as it's ever been. Like this is only back to like March, which is like the first like couple peaks there, and but we're still on a steady decline here, which makes me very happy, because I don't really want to cover NFT news. NFTs are stupid. I mean, I think we've talked about this like in some of our earlier videos talking about NFTs. I think NFTs have potential as being something that is worth something and means something at some point.
Yeah.
Like for like the art community, there is an actual reason to use NFTs. But that's not what we've had. We've had hastily put together randomly generated crap for most of NFT culture and NFT stuff. Or big companies just kind of throwing something out there because they heard it's the buzzword right now. So,
Yeah.
I will be happy to see this trend continue to go down. If you actually look at the U.S. one right now, the trend is kind of going back up, but I think that also might be because people heard about the trends and are looking at it, which is boosting the looks. I could be wrong. That's my speculation on it, but I think that might be part of it. But hey, I'm glad NFTs are dying. But hey, we're not done though with NFT news for today. We actually have another NFT news story because they're not dead yet. They're dying. So to answer the question in the title, are NFTs dead? No, they're not. Not yet. But they're on the way out. So yeah, our first. Oh, put up the wrong thing. My face is in the way. It was a cool transition.
Usher them out. Yeah, it was.
It was a
It
cool
was a
transition
transition.
where we flash up the logo really big and then a little bit smaller with our faces back. But yeah, I'm trying to remember. Do I actually have? No, I don't. I'm trying to remember if I
Okay.
had. I'm trying to remember if I had like a news article that I was gonna help read through to talk about this one, but I don't think I had one, and it's fair. I don't really need one.
Hmm.
Chris, if you, I'm not really from the. I never used it, but do you know of a now deceased website known as LimeWire?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah. See, I feel like most
Yeah.
people our generation or older
You know,
have probably heard of LimeWire.
the music pirating site of like the mid and early 2000s.
Yeah. I mean, there was some other ones. There was your Kazaz and
LimeWire was the like
yeah.
foremost
There was also
music
Kazaa.
pirating
Don't
site.
knock
I mean,
Kazaa.
sure, there was other places, but LimeWire was the spot. I mean, it's dead now.
Yeah.
I guess not
But not
dead
fully,
anymore.
because the name last year was bought by some dudes. I don't remember their names. They don't
Was it
matter.
Gary V? No.
I don't know who that is, but no,
Mr. NFT.
no. It was bought by some guys who've decided to bring LimeWire back, and well, as we've already kind of hinted at, you can kind of figure out here it's going to be NFT related. They're opening an NFT marketplace under the name LimeWire.
Good. There wasn't 80 million of them already.
So many NFT marketplaces. And really, if you're not, I mean, don't get me wrong, they have their own issues with that one. But if you're not OpenSea, why are you even trying? Um,
Hmm.
that's
Yeah.
the LimeWire of NFT marketplaces, but not to be confused with the now LimeWire of NFT marketplaces.
Mm.
Because yeah,
Yeah.
LimeWire is back, baby, and I will give them some slight, very slight, like very minimal credit that it is going to specifically be focusing in like music-based NFTs.
Yeah.
Which like
Okay. I
I'll
mean, it
give them
makes sense
credit
for
that they
the
didn't
brand.
just slap the name LimeWire on this NFT marketplace. They're at least slightly trying to keep to the, what LimeWire was about, which is, stealing music.
Yeah, baby.
I'm sorry.
Uh,
My bad. My person to person music sharing.
yeah. As a, you know, very small Twitch streamer, uh, in a incredibly oversaturated market, I think we have probably the most grounds to speak about like starting something like this
Oh,
being a
okay.
terrible idea, especially in something that's so niche and as we just talked about, an already dying market
Yeah, you
doesn't
understand.
make any
No,
sense at
it's
all.
stupid.
So it's a good move by LimeWire, I
But you know
think.
the thing. Here's the thing, though, Chris. I will say, to these guys, let's say they had the ideas they want to make an NFT marketplace, and they bought the rights to
Mm.
LimeWire, solely with the intention to put it on there. I gotta respect it because here's the thing: if we were able to buy, some defunct internet thing, we might get a couple of clicks on our videos. People be like, "Oh
True.
my gosh, LimeWire has a YouTube channel now? What does that mean?" And they're like, "Oh, it's just some two idiots playing video games," and then they leave, which is what's gonna
Yeah.
happen here.
I'll give my review of music. That'll be my LimeWire YouTube channel. I'll be Anthony Fantano, but worse.
But yeah, LimeWire's back, and we should try to see if we can get the rights to Kazaa. That's our new rebranding as Kazaa. We're not LimeWire, but hey, we're something.
Welcome to Kazaa.
Welcome to Kazaa. Hello and welcome to Kazaa.
Said no one ever, not even Kazaa.
But yeah,
Uh,
I think we've milked that NFT story as much as we can because it's literally just, oh, they're gonna start an NFT marketplace. That's the story. Which,
mm,
who cares? Everything's coming back these days with NFTs. NFTs is bringing back everything that doesn't matter. Stupid,
true.
Crazy Frog came back as an NFT drop because why not? Because that's really the 2021 into now 2022 motto of, yeah, why not? I guess that makes sense now.
I guess it should be an NFT.
After everything else, you're like, everything else we've been through in the last like 2 years, something happens and you're like, yeah, I guess that makes the most sense. Oh, Radio Shack's gonna start a cryptocurrency? Sure, why
Hmm.
not? I don't care. But hey. Um, our next story is a fun one, kind of. Not
Mm.
really. Not if you really think about it. But
Oh, gas.
leaded gas, which is no longer like a thing. It used to be a thing. Um, Now we have unleaded gas, which you still see everywhere as marketed as unleaded gas, which is kind of ironic because I'm pretty sure leaded gas was outlawed before we were born.
Mm.
So, but it's still marketed as like unleaded gas. Leaded gas was probably, and by probably I mean the studies show, was making people stupid.
Oh.
And like half of Americans, this is from Gizmodo. This is I'm just reading their, what's that called? What's this called? What's the word here? What do you call this? It's an article. What's this? Headline.
Headline?
Couldn't remember the name of it. Headline. I'm going to read the headline from Gizmodo here. Half of Americans exposed to IQ lowering levels of lead growing up. So
I mean, no, it really does make sense.
Yeah, if you grew up with leaded gasoline in your life, which...
If you grew up with leaded gasoline and your parents owned a pickup truck...
Especially if you... Yeah, I think the exact stats are like pretty much anyone from that time frame, which is basically... If you grew up in the 60s and 70s, like if you were born in like the 60s and 70s, had your childhood in those years, your IQ is about 2% lower, like, or not 2%, 2 points, which is not, it's almost nothing. Like I will say, saying if we made the title of this video, "Leaded gas makes people stupid," we could have done that and gotten away with it. But realistically, it's only 2 points. But it is kind of like, oh wow. Not good. It's a good thing we got rid of that, and
Yeah.
Then also if you go back to like the
that and lead paint.
Yeah, lead paint in like the
toys.
30s through 40s and stuff. Like I certain people from those certain people who definitely went through probably a lot of leaded gas in life, and they're running our country. So maybe we should stop letting such old people run for being politicians. They've dealt with too much lead in their life, and therefore their IQ is lower. I'm just saying, there's science behind that.
You are just unfortunately a little bit dumber because of the product that you consume.
Speaking, you are going to be dumber. I mean, obviously it's an average, which means some people are way stupider because of it, and some might not even be stupid at all.
Yeah.
But it is kind of telling,
If you grew up, what is it called? Siphoning leaded gas. You are probably dumb as a brick.
And I think there's also say like if you were like really like maybe if you had like your parents had a truck, or if you were like maybe your parents owned a gas station or something like that, you're like it's get up to like 7 points. Like it gets higher the average if you were
the more
near unleaded or leaded gasoline more often. I can close that browser; it's in my way. But yeah, so leaded gas is bad. I mean, so if you're currently a race car driver, maybe don't be, because I believe they still use leaded gas for your race car. So,
yikes.
There's some sort of joke about NASCAR fans and performers being stupid I could make here, but I'm too lazy. So we'll just leave it at that. Me saying that I know there's a joke there, just not saying it.
I think that's less of a leaded gas thing and just more of an ignorance thing.
Or they're all showing up at these, NASCAR shows with all that lead.
Drinking leaded gas.
Yeah, just breathing it in.
Sucking it down.
Yeah.
No, that's the alcohol killing it.
Also, your baby boomers, some sort of like anti-baby boomer joke I can make about, or anti-boomer joke about, all of Gen X being born during this era of leaded gas. But I won't do it. I won't do it. I'm better than that.
He's not going to do it. He's not going to make the joke about Gen X and baby boomers being dumb.
I won't say it. I won't say that scientifically, due to their upbringing, they have to now be slightly less intelligent.
Jeez Louise. Oh. Wow. All right. So, anyways, carrying on.
All right. Next news story. More stupid news, which is good. We have more stupid news back. Stupid news is back. I mean, all the crappy news that we haven't talked about in the past couple weeks, it's still happening too. It's still the world still sucks, but the world's getting stupid again. Which for the sake of our podcast, I thank you, world. Blue Origin, which is Amazon / I guess technically it's not Amazon, but it's Jeff Bezos's space company. He is sending more people to space because that's what they do. They do their Blue Origin launches. We've previously covered just completely crapping on the idea of them bringing
William
Shatner to space, and then describing William Shatner's experience in a different episode following it. But we have our new person. It's the new hotness, and talk about it. Everyone's talking about him. He's on the tip of everyone's tongue. So why not take Pete Davidson to space?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's not really any other news story here yet because it's happening. I want to say it's the 23rd or 4th is when it's going. If anything bad happens, obviously we'll update you on that. Or if Pete Davidson has some, revelation like William Shatner did, I'll once again bring it up again because I'm sure they'll ignore it again like they did before. I'm sure, knowing Amazon and Jeff Bezos, who we love and are very thankful for giving us this platform to stream on, they don't care about optics, so they'll just probably still do the same thing.
Yeah.
So
almost certainly.
Yeah, Pete Davidson's going to space, which is just. Why Pete Davidson? I mean, I like Pete Davidson.
Every girl loves Pete Davidson.
They do, apparently. He's man.
I like Pete Davidson. Skinny white boy.
He's a funny comedian who every girl in the world loves for some reason. If you're a celebrity, at least. I feel like if you ask any average girl, they're like, "What? Ew."
Really?
I
know a lot of girls that seem to actually like him. There's also a fair amount that he's not their type at all, which is fair.
Yeah, I don't get it. There's guys out there I'm like, oh, I get why all the girls want them. I don't get it for Pete Davidson. Doesn't make sense to me.
He's very tall.
I guess. There's a lot of tall guys out there, though.
There is, but he's a tall, funny guy.
That's true. He is funny.
Ooh, women do love funny guys.
Do they like shorter, fat, funny guys?
I was gonna say, you're not that short, though.
No, I'm not. I'm like 5'10".
You're like average height.
Yeah, slightly above average height, actually. Not to brag.
That's true.
Not to brag or anything, but I'm slightly above average height.
Average height is 5'8".
Yeah,
that's true.
I think it's 5'9". I think it's 5'9". But either way, still slightly above average, no matter which way you cut it.
I'm gonna have to look that up using my cool keyboard.
Oh.
Average.
Then also look at Pete Davidson's height, because I didn't know how tall he was.
Man, U.S.
This is very breaking news right here. We're going to find out right now. What is it?
Oh, wow. Is that true?
5'6"? Is it getting shorter?
What?
5'2"?
There's 5'6" and 5'2" are both showing up, which is very confusing.
Okay, now I have to jump in here.
Average height.
Male height.
Let's go 20.
5'6", 5'2"? So which means probably 5'6" for men? Because this is saying human height here.
Okay. 5'4" for women and 5'9" for men.
That's what I thought.
To 2022 census, I guess.
Which
makes me average height.
I don't know.
I'm 5'9".
Whatever.
Thought I was 5'10" for a long time. Just 5'9". Very sad.
I want to say I'm 5'10". I thought for a little while I was 5'11", but then I found out I was only 5'10" and like a little bit of change.
Yeah, my ex was 5'10", and I was just a little bit shorter than she was.
Hey, maybe she lied to you.
No. We stood next to each other plenty of times.
No, so maybe she lied about being 5'10". Maybe she's actually 5'11".
Maybe she's taller.
Yeah, you need to go get checked because she might have been a liar. That has totally different connotations when you just say those words. You gotta go get yourself checked. Because she might have been a liar. About height. That's about height, I swear.
About the height, yeah. I might be 5'10", possibly even 5'11". I'm 5'9". Pretty sure I'm 5'9". Pretty sure I measured myself with a measuring tape, and I'm 5'9".
Which this adds up to, because there was a point. The point. Well, no, this is a fun little side conversation.
Pete Davidson is tall.
Yeah. Did you look at how tall he was?
I am currently.
Well, I'll tell this little story while you do that. Because I for a long time thought I was
6'3".
Okay. There was a long time where I thought I was 5'11" because I was slightly taller than you, and you told me you were 5'10". Then I found out I was 5'10", so this actually does kind of add up.
That makes sense.
I
It's all
can
coming
confirm
together.
you're actually 5'9".
You can conform?
I can conform. I'm
Yeah, me
willing
too.
to accept the world where you're 5'9".
There's been times where I've been willing to conform.
But boy,
It
you
has
got
been,
that. You got that 7-foot energy, boy.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Thank you, King.
You're welcome. So yeah, Pete Davidson's going to space. It's stupid. I'm mad, but not really.
Yeah.
I'm less mad. Like I don't
just
care.
think it's silly.
I don't care anymore.
Jeff Bezos is going to spend his
He's just gonna keep
evil rich man money
He's
however
gonna
he
keep
wants.
spending the money that we're bringing him through our Twitch.
Our Twitch stream, through all of my Amazon
My Amazon Prime
purchases,
subscription,
my Amazon credit card that I have. Well, look, it saves me money on purchases, Austin.
The point is Jeff Bezos is evil and I would never support him. But yeah, he's going to space again. Actually, I don't think he's on this trip. To be fair, if I remember, they were announcing like a bunch of people. I think he might not actually be on this flight. But
Pete Davidson isn't?
No. I don't know if Bezos is going up again.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, why would he?
He's already been up twice and doesn't care. So. But yeah. Our last news story is about football. Woo! Football. This is not the right news article.
No, it doesn't look like it is.
Well, I remember the gist of it. I don't remember the exact numbers, which I was hoping this would have for me, but okay, whatever. So Tom Brady, he recently came out of retirement after just going into it.
Famous.
Famous, really good
child kisser.
Okay, I don't know what that's a reference to, but I'm not gonna touch it.
He kisses his son on the mouth.
Oh, that's a little weird.
Yeah, it is very weird.
But yeah, he is one of the literal, like, without any really argument, one of the greatest football players.
One of the greatest football players.
There's no way around. Like, you cannot like him, but there's no way around the fact that he's obviously great. Because
boy, do I not like him.
That's fair. But the man has like what is it? 6 or 7?
He's got a lot of championships.
Like 6 or 7, but that's not the point. He retired. He did really well, and he said he was done. And he's said that before with the Patriots. But now he said that with the Bucks that he was leaving. But now he's coming back. But the problem is, a man, I don't remember the exact number, but he spent a lot of money in this auction.
Mm-hmm.
Let me actually try to find. I'm gonna look up real quick.
He's got 7 championship rings.
Okay.
7.
I'm gonna try to find out how much the man spent. Man bought the last ever Tom Brady touched football. Like, it was a big thing. Like, last ever Tom Brady auction.
Looks like $500,000.
That sounds about right. Okay. Yeah, Tom Brady. This man spent $500,000 on this auction, which was, I don't remember the exact day Tom Brady announced his retirement. It came out of retirement, but the day before was when this man spent $500,000 on this football. That literally the next day, Tom Brady made worth literally nothing. And I just think it's funny, because the whole point of what made that ball worth something was that it was the last ever Tom Brady football. Like, he was done. He retired from his last game. But then he immediately, the day after he came out of retirement, making the football worthless. Not worthless, because it's still like I think a Super Bowl football. Like, so I'm sure the guy could still get something back for it if he wanted to, or personal. Like, he was Super Bowl football. That's important. But it's not $500,000 Tom Brady's last football important anymore.
Well, in fairness, at least that, I don't know. Was the auction money like at least donated to a good cause, or did they just spend $500,000 for no reason?
Ooh, I don't have information on that. But it probably went to the auction house, I would assume.
That's probably.
How that stuff works. That's why auction house.
Well, at least no one else spent their money on it, right?
Yeah, I guess.
At least he didn't just like, oh yeah, I'll give that to. Maybe that's why he spent so much money. He was like, you know what? I'm gonna join back tomorrow. I'd feel bad if anyone else spent their money on.
No, you're not understanding. Tom Brady didn't buy this football.
Wait, what?
Another guy bought this football, and then Tom Brady came out of retirement, and that man is out $500,000.
Oh?
Yeah, no, you.
I misunderstood.
Yeah, a guy won an auction for $500,000 to get this football, and then the next day Tom Brady came out of retirement.
That's.
It's a sad story for that guy.
That's insane.
Yeah. To be
Well,
fair, like if you have $500,000 to throw on a football, it probably isn't even going to hurt you. If you can throw
No,
around
probably not.
500 grand, you probably have a lot of money, so you probably like whatever.
That was
Fun
only
story.
$428,000.
Only 428,000.
Oh, closer to 429,000.
Oh,
Really?
oh, sorry. That's still a lot of money, no matter what way you cut it.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever see that money in my life.
Yeah, I'd hope to. That'd be cool, but probably not.
That would be nice.
Please
Would be
subscribe.
nice.
When you have the capability to. If you don't follow though, hey, give us a follow. It really help. Please help
It'd
us.
be much appreciated.
Please help us. We want to be.
Help us get closer to that $429,000 to buy Tom Brady's
I want to
football.
buy that Tom Brady football. I want to buy that Tom Brady football, the one that's worth nothing.
Nothing now.
But it's worth something to me because I mentioned it on our podcast.
And now it'll forever be cemented in our brains for at least the next.
We got
day.
that. We got Mr. Gox the crypto hamster. I want to buy his remains.
Those don't exist anymore. I promise that.
Yeah, no.
Probably got flushed down the
I
toilet.
hope he was cremated.
Given a little burial.
Yeah.
He's got a
That's
tiny
what I-
little urn
I
hanging
like
on
to
a
believe
shelf.
that. Also, I believe the people who owned him were like actually making some of the trades that he was doing, so I think they probably had enough money. They probably kept his remains or something. He probably got like one of those really good pet funerals. At least in my heart, I know he did.
I would hope so. After all the money they made off of him, I hope he at least got that.
But yeah, I also want the bottle of celebratory champagne from the Blue Origin
launch with
William Shatner. When William Shatner, recovering alcoholic, just wants to talk about how beautiful space was.
Yeah.
I want that bottle. I want that the empty bottle. I want that. I want all that on our set someday. So
definitely gonna happen.
Totally. When we get really famous, I want people to all find those things and buy them for me, and I'll pay you back.
Promise.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that didn't happen. It was a double finger cross, which is true. That's how it works. Well, it's time. It is time for the number one, only really left, segment we do on the Downtown Kentucky podcast.
Yeah.
That's right. It is time for Tournament of Champions.
Champions.
Which, if you're a first-time listener, you may be asking yourself, what the heck is Tournament of Champions? I'm sure there's no way they could have that trademarked. You're right. We never could, because that's been done a million times before us. We can never merchandise this. There will never be a Tournament of Champions shirt. I'm sorry. Maybe you can get a of Champions shirt. Maybe. I'll see.
Probably.
I'll run it by our lawyer. We don't have a lawyer.
Once we have a lawyer. Yeah.
But Tournament of Champions, if you're a first-time listener, it's a tournament of champions. It's a tournament-based fighting competition argument between me and Chris. Not really. We honestly agree most of the time. That was kind of the idea when I set this up, but we agree more often than I expected.
As it turns out, some characters are just, non-arguably better than others.
But yeah, we were pitting characters from anything and everything in a little to-the-death fighting competition.
Completely randomly seated.
A Mortal Kombat of sorts?
One might say.
I wouldn't say that. With a C, though. You can't touch us.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I like to always say, anyone from Rocky Balboa to Thanos is eligible. So let's find out who's our 8 competitors for the evening.
Let's do it.
Excuse me again. This is season
ready to
2.
see some blood, some
Episode
gore.
7. Wrong one. This is
at least in the theater of my mind.
Yeah. So let's head on over to our West Coast bracket. That's how we're ready to start. West Coast bracket. We have Shovel Knight from the Shovel Knight game franchise, taking on Han Solo from Solo: A Star Wars Story. I've also heard he's in some other stuff, but that's what I know him from.
That's fair. Now, who is Valhallam?
Valhallam is from the Justice Friends, which was a short in Dexter's Laboratory.
Ah!
Yes.
Yeah! The rocker character with the blonde hair.
He's a mix between, like, Van Halen and Thor. That is
Yeah,
his
I
character.
remember now.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's taking on Raphael of the
I
Teenage
thought you
Mutant
just
Ninja Turtles.
spelled Van Halen wrong for a
Nope.
second.
Yeah, no, it's Valhallam.
Okay.
And he's taking on Raphael of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, not the painter. I'm sorry to disappoint painting fans.
Hmm.
Now let's head over to our East Coast bracket. We have the Marvel battle between Luke Cage, who just came to Disney Plus like yesterday, I think. So it's
Mm-hmm.
very topical, and that's why he's here today. Totally not a random occurrence that happened.
Mm.
And he's taking on Killmonger from the Black Panther franchise within Marvel and comics, I assume. I assume he's from the comics from Black Panther. I have never read a Black Panther comic, but I would assume that's why he was in the Black Panther movie, is because he's connected to that character.
Fair.
And then in our last East Coast bracket of the evening, we have Mojo Jojo from Powerpuff Girls taking on Yoshimitsu from Tekken, as well as I believe Soul Calibur, but I believe he started in Tekken.
He is in Soul Calibur, yeah. And he is
Yeah.
very good in Soul
He is a
Calibur.
great character in the game, and we will see how he does today.
Alright.
Let's head on over to our first battle. We have Shovel Knight versus Han Solo.
Ooh,
Shovel Knight
yeah.
has the Dig Slash base attack, which is where he swings his shovel blade. He also has the shovel drop, which is another hitting you with his shovel.
Mm-hmm.
He has
And his
charge
shovel
slash.
is basically sharp as a sword. For
He
those
has-
wondering.
He has his charge slash, which is just the dig slash but charged. It's for with a longer range that can knock foes further away.
Mm-hmm.
He also has relics occasionally that are special and defensive offensive items consuming magic.
He has a number of relics
No, we're not going to go
make
into all of
him
them.
super busted.
Okay.
Yeah. Infinite Dagger! Being one of them.
And he also has a shovel blade upgrade he can have for his weapon,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
as well as his armor can be upgraded.
So let's assume that this is a end game Shovel Knight.
Let's say we're going to assume it's a first round Shovel Knight because he's still going to win. And he's taking on Han Solo, who is an expert marksman, an expert pilot, and he's multilingual, and he has a blaster. That's it. I mean, Han Solo's a cool character, but he's not winning a bunch of fights now, is he?
No.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
To be fair, I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe you can tell me if I'm wrong, but does Shovel Knight have any long distance weaponry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he does.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, his charge slash actually shoots out a laser beam.
All right. Okay.
Charge beam.
Yeah. Then he definitely wins. Shovel Knight wins. Han Solo doesn't even wear any armor whatsoever, so if he even gets close to him, he's pretty much dead. Also, from what I understand from the Star Wars franchise, the canonical Star Wars franchise, Han won't shoot first, so.
I mean, yeah.
McClunky
Definitely.
is as McClunky does. We're moving right along. Let's move on to Valhalla versus Raphael. I'll be honest, Valhalla, due to being a character that is in like a few shorts within the Dexter's Lab series, there's not a lot of info on him.
There's not a ton of stuff to go off of.
All we have is about 2 paragraphs, it looks like. Officially it's 1, but it's definitely... we have in the chat a woman that I don't know by the name of Shell says, "Dad says boo." No, my my dad apparently does not like that we had Han Solo lose. But also, sorry, Dad, get over it.
Yeah.
He's not equipped to win that fight.
No.
So Valhallam, if you don't know who he is a guitar-wielding Viking god of rock with a Southern California mannerism. He is a parody of both Marvel's Mighty Thor and rock music guitarist Eddie Van Halen. Where we try to jump around here, so I'm not just saying all that. He has this guitar that itself does not supply an infinite amount of energy, but he does give him a lot of power, I guess.
From what I was reading on his wiki, because he does have a wiki.
Where? I looked him up.
If you just look up Valhallam,
Oh wait, if I click on this, does it take me to it? Oh dang it. Okay, give me a second. Let me go to his powers and abilities.
he has powers such as immortality,
Oh, cool. Guitar playing, flight,
guitar playing,
super speed, lightning, justice frenzy.
which he can only do with Crunk and the other members of
Oh, okay.
the
That doesn't matter then.
Justice Friends.
But he has immortality. As long as he possesses his mighty guitar, he's immortal. So let's remember that.
Yeah, he has flight, super speed, and lightning.
Yeah, let's talk about Raphael, who has the power of he knows ninjutsu. He has an enhanced strength and enhanced speed. He has some stealth abilities.
Yeah.
He has his size. He has his shell, which he can go into like a turtle shell. He has a healing factor, but I believe it's not like an instant heal. It's like an overtime heal. So. Oh wait. Oh, average person. I thought I said that more he could heal faster than his brothers, but no. And he also has some stamina and some endurance. He's he's able to fight for a little while. But he's not immortal.
No,
Which,
no, he's not.
I mean, to be fair, Valhallam could lose his guitar at some point, hypothetically, in the fight.
He could get his guitar
But he also
knocked out
can
of his
fly
hand.
and shoot lightning at him. Raphael will never be able to get to him to take said guitar away from him.
Yeah, when he's flying and shooting lightning, that's gonna be pretty hard to
I think
get to him.
Valhalla is going to move on.
I would say so. I think it makes a lot of sense for him.
I'll be honest. I didn't realize this when I put him in here. I think Valhalla might make it a lot further than I expected.
That's fair.
He was kind of meant as kind of a joke throw-in character. It's like, I need a couple more spots, and I could throw the Justice Friends in. I didn't remember their names. I had to look up like Dexter's Lab superheroes.
Yeah, I mean the least powerful is Major Glory.
Yeah,
and he's still pretty powerful.
He's still Captain America.
Yeah, he's still Captain America.
Yeah,
and Crunk is just the Hulk.
Yeah, we have Captain America, the Hulk, and Thor.
And Thor.
And they are all in this tournament at some point.
He's a god.
Yeah.
Little god guy.
But he's got to rock and roll.
Yeah.
So it makes it cooler.
He was my favorite of the Justice Friends.
I think I like Crunk.
That's fair.
A big Crunk boy.
Crunk's got a lot of heart.
Both music and character. No. And then we have Luke Cage, who is what? He has the power of the bursting process. Okay, so apparently all of his other stuff comes from something called the bursting process, which is some sort of super soldier experiment.
That's how he's become a superhuman.
Yeah. Which gave him superhuman strength, superhuman stamina, 9 invulnerability, and an accelerated healing factor. So if you do somehow hurt him a little bit, his body has been described as hard as titanium steel.
Which is pretty hard. Not, unbreakable
by
any means, but very, very hard.
Yeah.
It's one of the hardest, lightest steels on
try to get a
Earth.
little bit of information on his healing factor specifically. Is usually enough to protect him from damages. However, if injured, Luke's recovery time from injury or trauma is customarily 1/3 that of an ordinary human. Okay.
So not insanely fast, but definitely superhumanly fast.
But yeah, he is an expert combatant, a skilled athlete. He has extended education. He's self-educated in the law and fluent in several languages. Good for him. He's a strong speaker. Good for him.
Nice. We love strong speakers.
His physical strength is class 50, which means Cage's strength has increased substantially and is enough for him to lift at least 50 tons. Possibly more.
That's insane.
He is weak to radiation and other near unbreakable flesh.
How much is 50 tons relative
100,000?
Anything.
That's 100,000 pounds.
100,000 pounds.
Yep.
What weighs 100,000?
Also, weapons composed of adamantium can also. Oh wait, no, sorry. While his skin can be lacerated by a highly powerful medical laser and weapon composed of adamantium, neither of these would be readily available or easily accessible. Fair.
6 things that weigh around 50 tons. a crane barge,
Oh, okay, see?
an adult whale,
See, just throw an adult whale on him.
an ancient pharaoh statue,
Okay.
two Stonehenge sarsentones,
Hmm.
and half a house.
Okay. Let's
He
move
could
on.
lift half a house.
Well, we're gonna move on though.
Okay. I just wanted
uh,
to give, the audience some perspective because 50 tons is a lot.
so,
Uh, anyways, what's Mojo Jojo got? Oh
well,
no, wait, no,
he's taking
this is
Killmonger.
Killmonger.
Killmonger is super strong,
Hmm.
super speed. He is physically strong enough to overpower and kill an adult bull elephant with his bare hands. It's pretty darn impressive.
Uh,
Not quite.
Too bad that's not 50 tons.
No. Um, Speed is similarly enhanced beyond the physical form.
Okay, so same boring superhuman.
Yeah. Superhuman stamina, superhuman durability, superhuman agility, superhuman reflexes. He took the herb. They also gave
Hmm.
him peak superhuman acute senses, peak human strength, which seems like that'd be less than previously.
And now just peak everything,
Yeah.
which is still not that impressive.
Uh,
Superhuman would be pretty impressive.
okay, I think these are different forms of him
Hmm.
at different points. One time he had like a replacement body that gave him those first set of powers.
Heart
Then he
shape,
had like
herb
the heart
enhancement,
shaped
which is just
herb, which is like
standard
the
stuff.
yeah the they're pretty similar.
And then he's got a divine symbiote.
But now the thing I am
Uh,
thinking about, I'm trying to remember in the MCU, don't
mhm.
doesn't adamantium come from Wakanda?
It does.
Which means he probably could have, unlike the hard to come by, he could definitely have adamantium weapons.
Well, yeah. No, the thing about it is that Killmonger fights, at least in the movie, Killmonger fights Black Panther in an adamantium suit. It's just a
Hmm.
color swapped adamantium Black
Okay,
Panther suit.
so we'll go off of that. We're gonna go off of that.
If
We're gonna.
not that, at least like his adamantium claws, which I think is
Yeah,
standard for Killmonger to
I
have.
think so. Which means he actually this,
Stands a lot more of a chance against Luke Cage than most people on this list.
but Luke Cage is still so strong.
He is insanely
He's
stronger
so
than
much
Killmonger.
stronger than Killmonger.
Just like brute strength alone, that I think
He
he could overpower him
Yeah,
pretty
if
easily
Killmonger got close, he's gonna rough
in
up
close
Luke
combat.
Cage. And
Oh, for
like
sure.
if we ever like accounted for damage into the next battle, which we don't, he would come in a little hurt because it would still take him time to heal up those wounds. A third of the time of a normal person, but a normal person gets scraped up by adamantium claws. They're probably gonna bleed out and die.
Yeah.
So, but Luke Cage definitely wins, but it is a lot closer than I think I initially thought as we
Initially
started
thought, yeah.
reading Luke Cage's stuff until I remembered about Killmonger's access to adamantium.
Yeah.
Now we go on to our next fight, the most even of the whole night.
Probably, yeah. I
No,
would say so.
I don't.
I guess no, yeah.
Mojo Jojo has
I
almost
don't
nothing.
know if there has been any close fights
Not
tonight.
at
I
all.
mean, I guess Luke Cage and Killmonger was probably the
The
closest so
closest for
far.
sure. And I think some
Mojo
of our
Jojo is
later
a evil
fights.
monkey with super genius
Yeah,
intellect.
pretty much that's it. Um,
Uh,
it looks like at some point he also got even stronger, like 1 point, but I think
yeah, it was
that's
like
like
in the Powerpuff Girls
yeah.
movie.
But I'm not
He
going to
took
count
some
that
super
because that's
potion.
not him. That's special version of him that he was able to attain for that.
Other than that, he does have monkey strength. Standard monkey strength, which is
Which, to be fair,
like
he's
peak human
a
strength.
chimp, so he is,
Yeah, if you've ever seen a bald chimp, that's terrifying.
yeah, they're a little bit, definitely probably a little bit stronger than the average human.
Hmm.
But
Versus
he's fighting
Yoshimitsu.
Yoshimitsu, who has a blend. His fighting style is a blend of ninjutsu, samurai style sword attacks, which is derived from some words that I'm not even gonna try to pronounce because it doesn't really matter. They're types of
Genjutsu and Batojutsu.
sure, and some special stances and supernatural moves. Kind of jump around here. His sword, while wielding a sword, he has many attacks that utilize it. He can perform slashes with it, use it to impale his opponents, rotate it with his mechanical left hand in a windmill manner.
Yeah,
Um,
which you can use to fly as well.
he can also use his uh,
Katakata. Harakiri moves.
which when he impales himself and or his opponent with it.
Hmm.
He
Yeah,
also
if
has
he
the power.
impales himself, it damages his opponent.
I believe he also has the power to teleport, if I remember right, from playing the game.
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, he has a little bit of teleportation powers.
Yeah, if you go down to his moves,
Yeah, I'd have
he's
to go
got
to
a lot
one
of
of the games,
moves.
pick a move list. Let's go. Let's get my. I always like Tekken 4.
He's got a lot of moves.
Yeah. Uh,
He's
I
got a
don't.
lot of
Yeah, this
moves.
I don't even know how to try to read all of that. But the point is, he has a lot, and he has a lot of power. He's
He
definitely
is
beat.
also, I think, technically undead, right?
Sure, but I'm sure he could be. But we go off of it's a fighting game, which means he could also be beat by like the lamest character in it. Because
That's true.
weird fighting game rules mean that no matter what, no one's actually that super strong.
Yeah.
You could have, Eddie Gordo, who's a fun character to play as for sure, but he's just a dude
Yeah.
who knows capoeira.
Yeah,
That's
he
it.
is. He's a real cool
But he could take
guy.
on devil gods like we had with Devil Jin. Like, so their
Good
power
old
set is
Kazuya.
like on paper when you read it. Oh my gosh! But I do feel like there is an element of you have to take into account that, well, characters in the past have been able to beat him who don't have that ability. So it's either way. Yoshimitsu though still beats chimpanzee with a big brain.
Mm.
Because that's all Mojo. That's all. That's a cool character, but in a fight to the death, Mojo Jojo is not. It's not really equipped.
No.
Um,
No.
so yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm already said Yoshimitsu, but I'm already kind of thinking about how there's definitely a way I could have argued for Mojo Jojo. Because there's definitely he does have the capability to like make giant mech suits and stuff. He has done that a couple times to try to fight the Powerpuff Girls, which you could argue that falls
Yeah.
under his wheelhouse. That one, first time ever, I think maybe we might have made a mistake.
Mm.
Please come comment on our page and tell us how you feel and how mad you are about it. Please let us know.
Mm.
Also, like, please. Or dislike, I don't care. Just do something. Do something to the video.
Interact with the video.
Please interact with us.
Uh, I don't know. I think even with the mech Mojo Jojo would probably still lose.
I
Because
don't know.
Yoshimitsu could teleport inside the mech and then
Yeah,
just stab him
possible.
in the back.
Yeah, that's true. Alright, well, let's move on to Shovel Knight versus Valhallam. Which,
Let's do it.
um,
I'm inclined to say Valhalla.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Valhallam. Valhallam is.
I think it's a pretty close
I
fight.
don't think it is at all. I think this goes back to what we've talked about before with, like, Thor. Thor is a practically unkillable god.
Well, Thor definitely is.
But
Valhalla only
Valhallam.
has those powers when he has his guitar in his hand.
Yeah, but. So he just doesn't let go of his guitar. I mean, like, he has super strength while he's holding the guitar, so he doesn't let go of it. That means he's have super grip. I mean.
I mean, there's definitely times when he's had his guitar knocked out of his hands in the show.
Okay. I haven't watched the show in a long time, so I don't remember.
Let's see. Is there anything that makes it so that he could stand a chance? He's got
To be fair,
among
also,
his relics a fireball shooting wand.
I take it back. Actually, at least according to the wiki, which I would want to believe,
Hmm.
Valhalla is not a 1-for-1 Thor. He
No,
does not have superhuman strength at all.
no. He's just pretty fat. He's
Super fast.
superhuman fast.
While his running speed is unknown, Valhalla has
Lightning.
shown to be incredibly fast while in flight, able to keep up with the likes of Major Glory, Living Bullet, and other heroes while in space.
Mm.
He can also summon lightning with his guitar.
Yeah.
So he can fly and he has lightning, and he's really fast with said lightning and flight.
Hmm.
And you have to get rid of his guitar to kill him. So I do stand corrected. I was saying he had like super strength, so he wouldn't be able to let go of the guitar if he didn't want to, but he could because he doesn't have super strength. So if you can
Yeah.
get close enough to take the guitar from him,
So Shovel Knight has magic, right?
okay.
And one of his magic abilities is his phase locket, which allows him to briefly escape from harm.
Mm.
Uh, and I think he could phase lock it and dash up close to him, knock the guitar out of his hand,
Possible.
use his trusty throwing anchor, which is an unstoppable arc of destruction. Uh, to possibly defeat our Valhallam here. What I'm trying to say is we need to bring out the coin.
Okay, cool. Because I kind of still am on Valhalla side, but I do see your side and be like, I could see what you're saying possibly, but also
Unlike, Valhallam, who has
I feel like
no immortality as long as the axe is in his hand,
I feel
Shovel
like,
Knight has the power of temporary invulnerability
but that's I would
as
assume due
long
to
as
him
he
being a
has
video
mana.
game character, that's not something you could use constantly.
Hypothetically, you could use it like a lot
Really?
before your mana runs out.
That's really broken.
Yeah, you can use it to like get iframes through specific like platforming parts of the game.
But there is also, I will say, we're still going to take the coin because I think it's fun and we haven't done the coin this episode. But I will also say one thing is even if he can keep dashing out for a while until he eventually runs out of mana. You were talking about how he could just then dash to Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight's fast enough that he can then make sure not Shovel Knight. Valhallam's fast enough that he moves. He's super fast in the air. So he's flying away, making sure you can't get to him, flying higher than him. That arc thing, I don't know enough about the game to know how high he'd have to get or know when it's kind of like... That's harder. Either way, we're taking the coin no matter what. So let's... let me pull up a coin. What makes sense?
I'm going to go with Tails for Shovel Knight.
Okay.
Only because Valhallam has really cool hair.
There you
It
go.
makes sense for him to be heads.
And Tails wins. Shovel Knight goes on.
All right. Probably won't matter.
No, I don't think it will.
Yeah. Got a little bit of a powerhouse in the ring, and we're about to get back to them. Definitely Yoshimitsu.
We got Luke Cage taking on Yoshimitsu.
And Yoshimitsu can't do anything to hurt Luke Cage.
I mean, he could hurt him, just not
kill
him.
I mean, he could probably hurt him with his like I stab myself and also hurt you move. And he goes, ooh, ow, and then he runs up and like crushes his skull.
Yeah, I think what it comes down to is because also I don't. It's because his skin's completely. You just he's. I was thinking like, oh, he could still probably like slightly hurt him with some of his hits and stuff. But let's even pretend like he could, which I think about. I don't think he even could. Even if he could,
it'd be like his soul slashing ability.
Yeah, that's probably about it.
Maybe a few of his other like magic abilities, but even that still wouldn't do probably much.
But yeah, But even here's the thing: even if he hurts Luke Cage a little bit, like we talked about earlier with the Eddie Gordo example, Yoshimitsu can be beaten by just a normal dude. Luke Cage isn't a normal dude.
So that man's gonna kill him. Average normal dude. Yeah. Some would say he is the peak dude.
I mean, I think Superman probably has an argument against that, but...
oh, that's true. Well, he's not really just a dude. He's an alien.
Wow, that's a little, like, speciesist.
A little bit. He's not really human at all, so...
Okay, fine. The Hulk is still human.
That is true. He's a mutant human.
So is Luke Cage in the same level of science mutated him.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, Captain America said, hey, I'm the peak human. But then you look at his powers, and like, man, unless I read more into it, I don't think he's invulnerable, on which he practically is. So, I don't know.
Cage and Hulk, I would say probably.
I don't know if there's many characters Luke Cage could lose to, honestly. Unless they have, like, world-breaking magic powers.
I don't know who you're talking about, Austin.
Or literally, like, they're Superman, so they're also invulnerable completely.
Well, Superman's, like, much more invulnerable.
Not really. They're both practically unkillable. You have to be also unkillable to take on Luke Cage, which Superman would be, but that's not the point of today.
Luke Cage is a little bit less invulnerable.
Little bit, sure, fine.
Because his skin's only as hard as titanium. It's basically assumed that unless you have kryptonite, you can't, like, damage Superman in any meaningful capacity.
You know, because Luke Cage, here's the thing: Luke Cage, you know, he can run around long enough not getting killed by Superman that maybe he can figure it out.
He doesn't have the speed to outrun Superman. Anyways, that's not the fight.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he can last long enough to hopefully figure it out. It doesn't matter today though, because Luke
No,
Cage
it doesn't.
wins. Because
Yeah, he
Shovel
does.
Knight has no chance.
Mm-mm. Oh man.
I honestly think slightly it still would have been Luke Cage. I think Valhallam would have lasted longer because he would have been able to run away in the air longer, and we'd have to try to decide what electricity does to Luke Cage because that wasn't defined by any of his power set.
That's
So
true.
I think he would have had this much of a chance for us to try to make a better argument for maybe why he could have. He still wouldn't. But why you could maybe try to make an argument. I don't think Shovel Knight there's really any way with the style of fighting he
I
has.
have a question to
Okay.
ask. I'm just genuinely curious.
Okay.
Is Omni-Man from Invincible in the Tournament of Champions of Champions?
Don't believe he is because I have never watched Invincible, so I didn't think about it when I was making the list.
Fair. Fair.
One Punch Man
I mean,
was
he's
for like
basically
a
just a
moment
second
until I realized he
Superman.
couldn't be.
Yeah. Saitama's basically unkillable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was assuming
You-
he'd be like practically unkillable, but I think, and I'd still argue that maybe with the argument of like a Scarlet Witch could maybe kill him because she just destroys the universe he's in and leaves him there and goes somewhere else. I mean, and I'd count that
I
as
think
killing.
that might have been a. I think that might have been a fight that they've basically explored already in One Punch Man. I'm not entirely sure. The show is basically just a parody of overpowered anime characters.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's been the
That's
podcast
been this
for this
episode.
week.
This episode's been different. Well, if
Yes.
you're on YouTube, we're about to say goodbye. But if you're on Twitch, please stick around. We will be doing another
Back in.
stream. We'll be playing some throwback gameplay in robots. But also, before we close, real quick, I just want to do some plugs. One, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube and you're on Twitch, go to the little link, go there. If you're on YouTube and not on our Twitch, please come follow us on Twitch at Downtown Kentucky / Twitch. Twitch.tv / Downtown Kentucky.
There you go.
But lastly, that's the general plugs, which we really should start doing more because it's just good channel etiquette of getting people to remember to do it. Specifically, we have to plug this week our big 1-year anniversary stream coming up this Sunday, March 20th, which is our 1-year anniversary to the day. A little peek behind the curtain. Probably going to be the only time we ever do our anniversary stream on our exact anniversary because of just scheduling. Next year it lands on a Monday. We're probably not going to be able to do it on a Monday. So, but just an example. But today, this week, first ever one this Sunday is on our exact anniversary from our first stream. And I'm excited. We have 6 hours scheduled out. I mean, we have no idea what we're doing for most of them, but we have the plan to do 6 hour stream from 6 o'clock Central 6 o'clock Central to midnight Central. You figure out what that is wherever you live. And we have some special guests. We have a lot of friends of ours, some you know, some you don't, who will be joining us during this amazing stream. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to giving you guys something a little different. So we will bid you adieu. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.